I had an old high school friend come to me the other day looking to buy a trip from where she lived down to Jacksonville to visit some friends. I gave her a quote, put together a trip for her, and got an email response back. Well, John, I found this cheaper somewhere else. And my response was, yeah, I bet you did. And here's why. Friends don't let friends buy cheap travel. In recent years, the American public has come to shop for vacations differently than they shop for just about any other major purchase in their lives. Travel is an investment. It is an investment in memories that you will share for a lifetime. It is an investment in time as you take off from work, as you organize the trip. It's a good amount of work in the beginning stages and a great amount of effort, despite how easy it is with modern technology and the days that we live in now to fly from one continent to another. Travel is a big deal, yet we shop for it like we're shopping for produce in the grocery store. Here's what I mean. Let's say your son has a big date planned. He has a girl that he really likes, and you like the girl too. He wants to make a great impression on her, invite her over, cook dinner, but he asks your help in picking out a bottle of wine that they could enjoy during that evening. Do you come to him with the advice of picking the cheapest wine on the shelf? The box wine for $7? I doubt it. When you're shopping for your cars, do you go with the 97 Geo Metro that you found on Craigslist for $4,000? I doubt it. You pick a model that is nicer, has features that you want, modern technology. You don't buy the cheapest things when you're shopping for major purchases. Why do you shop for travel differently? Well, let me tell you why. The travel industry has made it very difficult to understand the difference between a $2,000 Mexico package and a $5,000 Mexico package. When you look online and you're shopping, all the resorts look wonderful, whether they're the low-end resorts or the high-end resorts. You can do amazing things with photography and Photoshop. Just look at Instagram. Look at all the beautiful models that are there. 95% of that is fake garbage. We know that. The marketing folks in the industry use the same tricks to make their resorts look great. You could really end up with a crummy property if you're picking just based on the online resources that the general public has access to. My friend, who ended up booking that trip on her own to save a couple $100, ended up on a budget airline that is gonna fee her to death for things like seat selection, water on board, all kinds of little fees associated with that. Will probably end up spending more on that flight than the main cabin Delta flight that I had picked out for her. It's a situation where most folks who don't do this day in and day out, they just don't know to ask the right questions, don't know the difference in the airlines, the hotels, things that go into putting together a really good trip, and end up cutting corners where they don't need to. So that's the value of an advisor like myself. We take the time to go visit hotel properties. We travel a lot ourselves. We check out the cruise lines, we check out the products that we sell, and we nurture relationships with the vendors and try things out so that you don't have to be the guinea pig every time you travel. That's what we do. One thing that is becoming more and more clear as we move along into the 21st century here, that the old concept of class in travel. You know, you had the Titanic, you had the folks in steerage, you had the lower class folks, then you had the higher class folks higher up on the ship. That whole concept of a lower class, a higher class, when it comes to travel and the treatment they receive, that's back. I had thought when I started travel, in the travel industry years ago, where everybody on a cruise ship was basically the same level, everybody was equal. That's not the case anymore. Just take a look at the ships that have the ship-in-ship concept, where you have a private section of the ship for the folks who spend more money on the suites. I'm thinking about the Norwegian Cruise Line Haven section or the MSC Yacht Club. Those sorts of delineations in class have returned to travel. And there's a difference in how you're treated. If you book the cheap seats on the flight, if you book the cheap rooms on the ship, you're treated differently. I don't agree with that. I hate the ship-in-ship concept that's becoming so popular for that reason. But the reality of it is, when you spend more on your travel to upgrade your accommodations, to upgrade your flights, you're treated differently. And that's the reality of the world, especially in different countries. So I think you do yourself a disservice every time you start looking at travel, purchasing travel solely based on price. I think you will find that if you budget a little more, if you take a little longer between trips, save up, and spend a little bit more on the nicer flight itinerary where you're not going to be at risk of missing your connection. If you book with an airline that has a good reputation for service, good reputation for being on time and reliability, you're going to be much happier in the long run, and you will make better memories. And that's really what we do. We sell memories. And we want you to have the best memories possible. I want my clients to have the very best memories of their trips possible. So that's what we do. If you would like for me to plan your next vacation, get in touch with me. There's contact information all over the site, and I do my best to respond to comments. So give us a call. We'd love to plan your next trip. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.